Hey, welcome to end of season report, part of Shades of Blues content season. My name is Crunk Chocolate. We're streaming live on FanFest. Oh, and we're also simul streaming on the YouTubes. Shout out to all of our Patreonies who are watching and eventually get to this. Appreciate you. And for all, if you're watching on YouTube, or now watching it live, or say you're watching it later, please go ahead, hit that like, show some love, subscribe if this is the first time you're seeing anything Shades of Blue. Oh, it's the off season, which means we can all just relax a bit on our tribalism. Here I am asking some of my favorite people about clubs in the Premier League, our Women's Super League. Today, we talk about the Hammers. You know, this is actually the last show of the series. I've covered all the teams in the WSL. I've covered almost all of the teams in the Premier League, basically all of the teams who got relegated. When I reached out to the people I know, the connections I have, they were like, do I have to? Like, I'll come on because I like you, but like I don't really want to talk about the season we got relegated. So it's like not fun. And I understood. So I think we're saving the best for last. We're definitely saving one of the more I say it's going to be entertaining. It's going because they ended the season in 14th place. I'm going to try to stay nice because there's always been love between West Hamchester. That is the nickname. West Ham always seems to find a way to help us out, win a game, so that we can either hold on to a title or just bring us the lulls, you know? So shout out to them. And to talk about the Hammers, to talk West Ham, to talk this one of the many teams in London, it's our friend. It's our homie. Give it up for Big Phil. How are you, my friend?
I'm here, and at this point, it feels like the West Ham season. We were there. We existed. And sometimes that's all you can do. And that's okay.
Hey, existing is tough enough sometimes, honestly. Like I am with you. Like sometimes all you can do is exist. And at times, that's all you need to do. There have definitely been some times where, I've just been like, I'm here. There's nothing. Actually, that was very similar to what I did this 4th of July weekend. Since this is like the final show of the series, I haven't really taken an off-season break. And I didn't touch anything SOB related at all the entire week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just lounged. I made a bunch of food, and I just slowly ate food and drank and enjoyed the sun, walked my dog. I tried to pay attention to as little of the outside world as I could. I just existed.
And that's all we can do sometimes.
Yeah.
Which, hey, it works. So
right. And I'm here now. I'm charged up. Let's go. But the way that the show works, for anybody who is watching for the first time, what I do is I have the guests grade 5 categories. There are kits. We will talk about home, away, and third. Then there is manager, squad, supporters, and front office. I will have them do the American grading style, A through F, A, B, C, D. We skip E for some reason, and F. But there have been, you can do pluses or minuses, obviously have as much fun as you want. But the English, they added in, they helped me with to do some of my guests. There's a letter U. It is you were so trash, you don't even actually deserve really a grade. So you get a U. So if there is a category, a situation, a topic where you feel they were so not good, and you want to give them a U, feel free.
Oh, look, there are so many. You know what? We're gonna try to start positive. That's what we're gonna focus on.
And we will with the kits. And the home. Okay, every club has that home kit. It's supposed to have this color. It's supposed to be this way. Don't get too crazy. And West Ham, mostly claret, and then you throw in some white or some sky blue or something like that. It's kind of tough. But what I will say, this year, your kits, I like them. I rate them. They're not bad. The home ones. We'll start with the home kits. So, what are your thoughts on West Ham's home kit, and what grade would you give it?
I mean, a solid B. I mean, it's nothing crazy. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. They kept it simple for the most part, and that's all I can ask. I just don't want it to be done crazy. You know your colors. You keep the home kit simple. You don't get crazy with that. That's the least you can do. And so for that kit gets a B.
Yeah, I like the blue. I like the striping on the neck, the piping, and on the sleeves. Like it's some details in it to make you be like, ooh, I like it. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Okay, cool. A B, that's decent. Okay, away, the black kit, some black, some clarets. It gives bad boy chic,
Look, woo, I love me a black kit. I'm not gonna lie, I love me a black kit. I give that one an A because I love black.
Oh, hey,
I love the black kit.
Black is beautiful, Big fan of black over here too. I feel you. Okay. And honestly, I won't argue with you. Like it really is a nice kit. So I was trying to see if there were any, because a lot of these teams, they will sneak some detailing on the kit, like behind the scenes that you can't see. It does look like on the bottom there is some pattern. They took the pattern away to let Betway get all the clearance. But yeah, there looks like there's a little bit of pattern on it. There's some fun. That's nice. And then Umbro, they do a decent job of making kits. So that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so their third kit, it's white. It has a collar. Some people feel very strongly about collars. Oh.
So here's my thing.
Oh, what is your thing?
I love collars. Popping collars for justice. I love it. The white, the off-white, maybe it's because of MLS and I've seen so much white or off-white. It's almost become, I'm too used to it, or it doesn't really do it for me anymore. Like, I get it. It was supposed to be something a little different, but it didn't do it for me. But because they have the collars on it, I can live with that. They got the collars, so it's okay. It's nothing great, nothing to write home about, but it was okay.
That's fair. You're actually not the first guest. So many of the teams did like an off-white kit this year, like not white at all, like specifically like eggshell, cream, whatever, mushroom, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of people weren't fans. I guess a lot of people aren't fans of off-white. Virgil, where would people be without you? They forgot about you already. I like off-white. And then honestly, it felt so slight that I guess you couldn't tell, but maybe I need to look up the highlights. Maybe once the sun hits, you can kind of tell that it is visibly off-white. Now, I mean, you're the West Ham fan. That's why I have you here. So if you say it's off-white, it's off-white. Shoot, I didn't write it down. What was your grade for the third kit?
C.
Okay. All right. Oh, I didn't hit the agenda. for the next thing. So next topic is a manager. Okay, so there, technically had two managers this season. Julian Lopetegui, and he left after playing very uninspiring football. Like it was weird in dark times. And you got rid of him and you brought in a prospect manager that so many people talk highly about, Graham Potter. And he just needed a place to do his thing, show his brand. Technically, like if you look at Lopetegui's time this season, he averaged 1.2 points a game, whereas Graham Potter averaged 1.1 points a game. So that technically, statistically, you had less success under Graham Potter. I guess you can grade however you want. You can grade them both. You can just say Lopetegui's out of here, so he doesn't get a grade. You do this however you want. You're the West Ham fan. Who am I to tell you what to do?
I mean, Lopetegui, you know what? To be fair, it's an F for Lopetegui because you got fired. F.
That's
fired.
fair. That's fair.
As simple as that. But for Graham Potter, it was a D. I mean, at the end of the day, with the talent that we had, the fact that we finished in the bottom half, it's just not acceptable at all. And I think it's just really, it was really hard to find any positives out of this season, especially regarding the managerial styles. Like, yes, you kept us up at the end of the day, but that's mainly because the three teams that went down were just that bad.
Yeah.
And Spurs and United were just also awful.
They really were, weren't they? I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Tottenham, speaking of Spurs, they're another London team, but you know, Arsenal, they have Tottenham have Arsenal, like they have teams that they hate really bad. How is the like rivalry between Tottenham and West Ham? Because it's London teams.
It's very intense. I mean,
is it? Okay.
It's simple as that.
It's London.
They don't like each other at all.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so Lopetegui F, Graham Potter, he comes in. He's supposed to save you guys. Thoughts on him? Like how? Like obviously, I laid it out with the points. He didn't find much success. Is it that Graham is trying to play like almost like obviously United, they're shit, but their excuse can be that they have Amram, they have the manager that they want, but they don't necessarily have the players that can play his style of football. Was it that Potter came in and the style of football that he wanted to play, but didn't have the players to play his style, or was it he started to play his style and it just was kind of obvious that it's not good?
Well, the thing for Potter, I give him the excuse that he didn't necessarily he was dealing with the hand he was dealt. So I don't, as much as I do look at him and say he didn't do a lot, you're coming in for a situation where squad morale was already in the gutter and you were just trying to do your best to right the ship as much as you can. So in that sense, I'm going to give him this transfer window. He's got quite a few players going out, probably got quite a few transfers that he's going to have to deal with leaving the club. So we will see how he handles that and what he does in terms of player recruitment, alongside with the director of recruitment. So we will see how this goes. But I'm not holding my breath because it's West Ham, and
Oh,
we're at the end of this European era. So you have a lot of quality players that are probably looking around and saying that they want to be somewhere where they're competing for Europe,
mm,
like Kudus, like
yeah.
a Paqueta, and look, Edson Alvarez just had a great performance against the U.S. in the Gold
Mhm.
Cup final, the C team of the U.S. But at this point, I would not be shocked if there are certain players that try to get a move in the transfer window. So the real question is how is he going to be able to recruit players? How is he going to sell players on this project of rebuilding West Ham to the point where we're that competitive team once again?
Mm. Yeah, that is going to be interesting because when I do watch West Ham play, especially with Graham Potter, I guess I'm not familiar with the style of football, but I definitely thought the team would like you play less defensive than Lopetegui had you playing, but I don't necessarily think where like some teams, hey, like Everton, they're gonna be defensive salinity. They're gonna be together. Like, it's gonna be hard to break them down, but they're gonna take their chances. They might catch you on a set piece or on a quick transition, something like that. Or Aston Villa, they love to attack. Obviously, their manager has them set up so they know where to be and what to do. But their thing is they want to run at you. I guess I watched West Ham play, and there wasn't necessarily a style per se that I was seeing from them. They were just playing football.
They, they just played. They tried to get a result by any means, but I mean, yeah, that's what it was. Um, and really, there are going to be a lot of questions about what this team does going into the transfer window. I mean, considering the players that we've lost two strikers essentially. Antonio gone. I mean, I'm glad he's okay, considering all things
Yeah, everything.
considered. And Danny Ings is gone, so both of them on the way out. It leaves Nicholas Fulkrug as our only first team striker, really, at this point. And so we have to look out for another striker. We're gonna have to look out for another left back. I'm sorry, there was something going on over there. I don't know what happened, but we're gonna have to look at ways to go ahead and replace those players. Uh, Sufal, he's gone. Great servant for the club. We're
Yeah.
gonna have to replace him in terms of getting a backup for AWB, and it's just really about trying
Oh,
to replace the depth that we've lost and trying to find players that can compete for starting spots in the squad.
I wasn't aware that y'all have lost that many people already. Wow, that's wild. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah. A lot of people just left without. Wow. Well, yeah. Then I forgot you had Ferguson alone. Ugh. But you
Yeah,
really
that
can't.
didn't work out. That
Yeah.
didn't work out at all, which sucks. But also one of those things where I guess we're lucky we didn't try to do a loan option to buy. So
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. He's It's interesting. Okay. Well. What? Okay. So you said you're gonna give him to the summer to like not lambast Graham Potter, but what would you grade Graham Potter for his job?
as of right now, it's a D. I mean, he kept us up bare minimum, That's a D, but he didn't do anything impressive. Like that's kind of where I am. The expectations were for this club to be above fighting for Europe, and we weren't. We weren't fighting for Europe. we were fighting just to stay up. So that's where we are right now. So it's a D based on that, but he has every chance to rectify all of that with a good window and just seeing what type of style he's really going to put on this team. You know, with certain managers, they put their fingerprint on their team. Mm-hmm. You know what you're going to get week in, week out. I'm hoping after this summer he's really able to put his thumbprint on this team and see what he's really about. And that's all I can hope for at this point.
That's my team. Don't that thumb down. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep it moving because we have been talking about the squad, so might as well move on to the next subject. We will talk about how they did in the 24-25 season. And then naturally there are a couple of other players that I am interested in. Obviously, you've kind of already touched a few of the players that have left, but how did the team do this 24-25 season?
Based on expectations, it's an F. It was severe underperformance of players that you expected to be better. You had Bowen, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Thomas Solchek. They all did what was needed to really help us, not really be in serious danger of the drop. They really carried the team on their backs. But outside of those three, and I'm really not looking at a player that stepped up or really played to even a decent level. Paqueta underperformed. Kudus underperformed. They brought in Soler and Guido Rodriguez. Both of those players did not play to expectation. Edson Alvarez underperformed. It's just a lot of players that did not play to the standard that was expected of them, and so it showed.
Tough crowd. I mean, you're also very accurate. Yeah, because I feel like for many years you always had those like crazy Bowen goals where he just would take on players and just kind of score these bangers of goals. You really didn't see much of that from him. I forgot you brought in Nicholas Fulkrug. Once he came in, that's how I knew, unfortunately, West Ham weren't serious this season. Like I saw that and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. Like I get why you bring him in. He technically does fit the whole West Ham, big physical guy who technically can score goals, but he needs to get set up. He's not necessarily the guy. I mean, obviously, when you get to that level, of course, you can create goals for yourself. But that's not necessarily his game to me. Yeah. I guess when I see him, it's really like you get him the ball somewhere around the goal and then he bangs them in. And I don't necessarily think that this team was set up for that. I mean, Lucas Paqueta, the fall off from him, that's really a like series of unfortunate events with West Ham. Like because City was about to bring Paqueta in, you are about to get a bag for him. No telling where the club goes from there because they could have taken that money and flipped it and did something else with it and helped continue the squad. But then that happens. You have that kind of looming on him. His ability drops significantly because he's not confident. He's not really doing well, which then brings down the whole squad on top of that. Wow, why am I forgetting his name? Kudus. Wow, my brain. Kudus. Like at the end of last season, it was rumored 70, 80, 90. That's the only way you're going to be able to pay to get him away from West Ham next season.
I
But then
mean,
you
still will be, especially if it's a team in England. You're gonna pay that tax of we're selling to a rival, which is why Spurs tried to throw in 50, and it's like, no, you're gonna pay more than that, especially if it's a London rival. You're looking.
Yeah.
We're gonna tax you for that. That's like 70, 75 minimum to have that real conversation, at least in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if they found a way to mess up negotiations and only get 60, 65 for him. But I feel like you should be able to get 70 for him. The potential is there. We all know it's there. It's just a matter of this season. It was just a lot. It was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
And for him as a young player, there's so much more potential with him. So you're willing to excuse that as opposed to Paqueta, who is more of a veteran at this point.
Yes.
So there's the difference in that. So really at this point, you're just hoping certain players, if they don't want to be here, just make sure you can get as much as you can for them and see where you can reinvest that money in. I mean, we already picked up the option on one of our loan players from last year, from Nice, Tobito. So, and I think he'll be fine.
He's a decent player.
I think he just needed an adjustment period for the Premier League. I think he'll be fine. I like his potential. So you have right back, you have a center back. We'll see what happens with Kilman, if he's really gonna find his form again. And then you have to look at left back. So I'm not as worried about the back line per se as I am the midfield, because there could be so many departures.
Yeah, there's this is the whole squad. You have so many people who are like 31 and older, and then you have a couple of like mid-20 people. And in your midfield, you have like 5 21-year-olds and younger. And it's like, I really haven't heard much about these players. I would expect you're hopeful for them, and it seems like they're English lads too, so that's good for the future of worst case, you'll be able to sell them off for like 15, 20, 30 million, and that'll make you some money in the long run. But yeah, Ward Prowse, like the fact that his game basically is only needed when either you need to make a long pass or a set piece. And like, is that really someone you can have starting all the time? Can Lucas Paqueta get his groove back? Edson Alvarez, I really like him. He's a banger. I just think he can't be the only person in the midfield bringing that physicality. And I think him being next to Ward Prowse, or having to share that space with Ward Prowse, he needs somebody else who can like handle their own. Like, respectfully, even in his youth, most youthful, Ward Prowse was a shit talker. Like, he would come and play, but he was never like, the physicality part of the English game was never his thing. And now that he's even older, that's less of his thing. So I just kind of feel like they need somebody to come in. Hey, I see Paulinho. He's getting kicked out of Bayern after 1 year, and there are teams in the Premier League that are looking at him. That would actually be a relatively decent player that you could bring in. Bayern probably are willing to take the L financially on that, so you could possibly get him for like 30, 35, 40 million. That would be something that I would look into. But are there any players that are rumored to be coming to West Ham? Like, are you guys tied toward any players?
Not really to my knowledge.
That's tough.
I decided to just I took some time to be at peace from this West Ham season.
That's real.
I just needed a little bit of a break from West Ham because
That's
it
real.
was just a bit much. I'm like, you know what? Once the window opens, once we get, a
Yeah,
few
let me see
more
some
weeks,
stuff.
just another week into by next week, I'll see what needs to be seen, and we'll see what happens from there. But no one of note to my knowledge as of right now. But it's early, so that can change very quickly in terms of who we're really trying to bring in. If there's a big name, I doubt it. It's real. I feel like it's just one of those classic West Ham. Oh, we tried to sign this player, but he wouldn't sign for us. But we tried, and it's like, all right, come on. We know that's BS, man. Just come on.
Yeah, I'm seeing a Joel Kurz. Yeah, the West Ham. Yeah, everybody is being like, yeah, you're right. They're asking for at least 70 with incentives. Um, oh yeah, Somerville. Oh yeah, man, I forgot about Somerville getting injured. That really messed things up too because he's a good player. I'm a fan of him. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like we did try to go after players that would ideally help in case a player like Paqueta left, but you haven't been able to see too much from Somerville. So I'm hoping he gets healthy and we can get the best out of him because he really showed a lot of potential at Leeds. So just at this point,
Damn,
we'll
they
see what
let's see him
happens.
spend some money up for him too. Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep it moving to the next topic, which is supporters. Hey, after having a manager firing, still dealing with the Paqueta gambling. Will he? Won't he? Will he? Won't he? Will he? Won't he? It sounds kind of tough to me for West Ham fans right now. It kind of sounds like it's a lot. You're going through some things. So, how do you think the West Ham fan base did this last season, and
I'll
how
give it
would you grade them as a fan base?
A+ for dealing with all this crap. A+ because ain't no way you gonna convince me that any fan that stuck by this team, despite all the foolishness, deserves any less than an A+. Look, this season was extremely tough, and there were a lot of reasons for frustrations amongst the fan base, and a lot of it was justified. Uh, and so at this point, I think fans are just really. I think we're coming to terms with the end of that era of competing for Europe, and we're just want a team that goes ahead, competes, finishes comfortably in mid-table, and challenges for a domestic cup. If we can get back to that, I think fans would be happy next season. If you told West Ham 10th place and a cup final run, we'd snap your hand off instantly to get it. And I think we'd be happy. So I think there was a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, a lot of disappointment. But I think given some time, uh, fans will reset, refocus, and be back to doing what we can next season to support the boys.
Okay. Well, and like I said, I at the beginning of it, I'm a fan of West Ham. Your supporters have always been great. The vibes have always been good between us too. Who doesn't like bubbles?
Bubbles, beautiful.
Bubbles. You know, it's like who doesn't like that stuff? Um, yeah, I for a team I enjoy, a team that we have kids where sometimes we share colors. You know, I definitely have a retro kit in my a retro city kit in my closet that could easily be mistaken for a West Ham shirt. So like, you know, I don't I do have love for you guys. When it comes to the spectrum of London clubs, there are plenty of other London clubs I would rather hate and enjoy hating way more than anything when it comes to West Ham. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's move to the final topic. Front office. Time to shit on somebody. Hey, front office. How have they done? What are your thoughts on the job that they did in the 24-25 season, and what grade would you give them?
F is too nice.
Yeah, also the U. You gonna do the U?
U is too nice. I feel like there's not enough to explain how
That's technically supposed to be U.
garbage this front office was.
We can combine it. You can give them a U and a minus. We can add the minus to it.
I got a better one. F you to the front office for how bad they were. That because that's essentially what they gave us, which was a mighty FU. They went with Lopetegui. The fans were not huge on Lopetegui. And then as things are falling apart, they take too long to decide on whether he should stay or he should go. And you pick Graham Potter, which is the most underwhelming guy you could have picked out, and now we're at a point where now we're stuck with him hoping he can right the ship. And it's just like we do this all the time, year after year after year after year after year. I could do that 10 million more times, and it's just wanting new ownership to step in potentially in the future to just rid us of this horrific front office. It would be a dream come true. And yet, as I say this, I know that it would be the most West Ham thing to get new owners, and somehow it gets worse. So it is quite simply a nightmare to think about. I hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at this performance of yours. No, this was great. I'm not laughing at the situation. You are just very entertaining, friend, and I know you know that. Oh my gosh. Oh, I will definitely allow that for you. I cannot wait to make the report card for this. This is gonna be great. Okay. Well, shoot, there we go. We're done. This was therapy. Now you don't have to think about that 24-25 season anymore if you don't want to. You've talked it out. You've gotten your thoughts and feelings. It's out here. It's recorded. If anybody has any other questions in the future about your thoughts of last season, you can just point to this episode.
All this. Don't ask me about it again. All this. This is all you need to go to.
Just send them the link and be like, there you go. It's even split up in categories. Oh, I love it. Oh, man. Okay. Well, that was the episode. I will be back. I'll be back with my show bros in a week or two or something like that. I'm actually going to take a real break.
Take a break. Take a long, comfortable break.
Might pop up for some random watch-alongs with all of these like women's competitions. Maybe we'll do something for Club World Cup. Like watch-along, those are chill. Those are vibes. I might hop on just to kind of like rant some shit, talk some shit once this Club World Cup is over, as the transfers happen. We'll see. We'll know. I don't know. But all I'm saying is don't really expect something. Nope, I'm gonna say anything. Love you guys, appreciate you guys. Shady Gang, you're the best. Phil, thank you for joining me. Please let people know where they can find you and the things that you do.
You can find me on X at BigPhil_Steve. That's where I'm most active on. I would say I have Blue Sky, but I forgot what my account name on there is. I'm pretty sure I'll remember after a while, but not in time for this. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Just know I'm gonna be talking my stuff one way or the other.
One
And
way
just
or
being a
another.
Chicagoan at the heart of it all.
Hey, I will be in Chicago sometime soon. I need to get to another. I technically didn't go to a Stars game. I went to the space where I could have went to the Stars game, but I didn't go to a Stars game. But I went to the Fire game, so I still need to go to a Stars game. I'd like to go to another Fire game, and just in general, Chicago in the summer is the best. So I just need to get there.
Summertime.
Hey. Oh, that was great. All right, everybody. You know the vibes. Shady gang, shady gang, shady gang.